Everybody, welcome to the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. We are here in the New York area in the United States, broadcasting live. And look who's with us. International hip-hop dance champion extraordinaire Travis Lim is joining us, not from Canada, his home base, but from Los Angeles. Hey, Travis, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Jim?
Fantastic. Congratulations on everything that's been happening. Boy, it's been skyrocketing rather quickly for you, my friend, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. So what do you have going on today? Have you been dancing around the house today, dancing in the streets? What's been happening?
Well, if you're asking about right in this moment, well, I had a great breakfast, did a light workout, did some dancing, moving around. Music was on while I was cooking, so
nice.
But if you're asking about in general, what am I doing right now? I'm feeling really fulfilled artistically. I just graduated from UCLA last year, so I've had the chance to be in Los Angeles working for about a year now. And yeah, just doing different kinds of projects it's been great. I actually just wrapped up a show yesterday where we did a live interactive modern and dance performance for a food display it was like an interactive food experience where we created different dishes for summer, winter, spring, fall, and we had different movements and dances for that. So something really, really interesting, dancing with food. So
that is, I tell you, right? That is so cool. Congratulations on graduating too. What was the field of study for everybody watching?
It was dance. I had, applying to university before, I had thought about doing different things, but I think dances was the one and only option for me. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's great too is not only are you a professional, but you also teach too. And that's something near and dear to your heart, isn't it, Travis?
Yeah. I've been teaching since I was like 13 or 14 years old. And it's been something that has really taken off for me lately. I've really enjoyed passing on. In hip hop, actually, we have a phrase called each one, teach one, and taking what this form and what my teachers have given me in the past, being able to pass that on is something that's really special to me. So yeah, we'll definitely get into that later.
I had heard that in doing my research that one of the people that really inspired you early on, you were telling everybody was Chinese, but of course he's American, the iconic Michael Jackson. He was an early inspiration for you, huh?
Yeah, Michael Jackson. Oh, man. There's actually a really funny story attached to this. When I was about 10 years old, I was watching a Chinese channel because my parents are immigrants, so they mostly watched Asian channels growing up. And I was watching this channel, and I saw an amazing dancer. It was a Chinese guy, and he was amazing. And I didn't really speak Chinese that well at the time. So they were talking yada, 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 Michael Jackson. I was like, oh, this must be Michael Jackson. So I did more research, and I for almost 3 years, I thought that Michael Jackson was Asian until my parents corrected me. They're like, I'm pretty sure he's not. And I did more research after that. And I started diving deeper into Michael Jackson, and I started watching the Thriller and all of his music videos, and was just blown away by his stage presence, by how he was able to capture an audience. The fact that he would point and faint at the side of his point. That was
the point sliding backwards. I mean, he was just so flexible, so nimble, and so energetic, passionate, and alive. He was kind of like Clark Kent. He was humble, he was shy, he was quiet. But once he hit the stage, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
Now, are you like that? Are you similar, or are you boom all the time?
I wouldn't say boom all the time. I think I'm a blend of an introvert and an extrovert. When I'm on stage, my parents have always said like something different comes out of me. Definitely a whole nother personality type comes out when I'm on stage, for sure.
So in addition to Michael Jackson, what are some other folks that have inspired you in the industry that got you to say, I think I want to pursue this? And because you've been doing this early on, I mean, since a young child.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely say, those large, incredible artists like Michael Jackson and people that I grew up watching had a huge influence. But when I started to dive deeper into dance, and you said it already, but I'm from Vancouver, Canada originally. And I started my dance career there, and I danced for 17 years in Vancouver. And what I found was that it wasn't just the large stars that were giving me more of my inspiration, but actually the people that I interacted with daily in the dance community in Vancouver. There's such an amazing hip hop and dance community across Canada that I would love to just put on the map, because those are the people who I got to interact with, who I got to dance and session with, and really take inspiration from on the day-to-day. And I think that's really what pushed me to continue putting my city on the map, and continue to bring those people in and do projects with them, and enjoy our presence with one another.
When did you decide you wanted to then get into the world of competition? We've had several guests come through who've been on America's Got Talent, Canada's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, The Voice, So You Think You Could Dance, and a lot of other different shows, competition shows. One of my friends actually was a winner of American Idol, and now he's touring the nation, starring in the Neil Diamond, which was a Broadway show, which was a hit called Beautiful Noise. And now it's touring the country, and he won The Voice, and it was unbelievable American Idol. He won American Idol. And that was just, once that happened, boom. For you, when did you decide, I love this. This is something fun. This is something I want to do. But then you wanted to really get competitive about it.
Yeah, I mean, those platforms are, like you said, amazing for putting people on the map. And I had seen that from such a young age. I think in terms of competition, I had always been a competitive dancer. I started at the age of 6.5. And within my first year, I competed at a competition called Dance World Cup. And my mom promised me, she was like, if you do well at this competition, I'll buy you an iPhone. And I said, really? 6-year-old me? I was like, a 6 and 7-year-old should not have an iPhone. But I was like, really? And I was like, okay. And I don't think they had any expectation that I was going to, come back with any result or anything. But I actually ended up winning a gold medal at that competition. And I didn't get my iPhone. I got an LG flip phone that I played 8-ball pool on for a while.
Right.
But I don't think any 6 or 7-year-old should have an iPhone. But yeah, my love of competition sparked at a very, very young age. And when I was, I think about 10 or 12 years old, somewhere in that window, Canada's Got Talent announced for the first time that they would be bringing that brand to Canada. And I was like, well, this is it. I have seen all of my favorite dancers blow up and create careers out of appearances and wins on these shows. I was like, this is my opportunity. This is what I want to do. So me and my mom, we decided, you know what, let's go to across Canada. Let's fly. We went to Winnipeg, Toronto, Edmonton. We went to all the locations to try to audition and get on the show. And the producers, they loved me. And sometimes in the show business, they'll tell you one thing, and there's so many rigorous rounds of actually selecting who comes onto the show that I didn't end up making it to the show. 10 years later, I continued my dance career. I still love competing. I got the chance to appear on World of Dance as well, and compete with my team. But 10 years later, I had the opportunity again to go on Canada's Got Talent. And this time I was in a very different position. I was leading my hometown team, Groovement, and we ended up getting the golden buzzer and making it all the way to the finale, which was such like a redemptive arc. Is that the right word for it? It was a redemption arc.
Redeeming
arc. Thank you.
Right.
But yeah, it was a redeeming moment for me, and lots of emotions. A 10-year-long journey that took me 10 years to make it to that stage.
10-year mark, and you didn't give in and give up, which is great, because it really is. It's a tremendously inspiring journey for others too, who want to do things in the creative arts as well. It's been, like you said, a decade-long pursuit of your childhood dreams, and it's taking you from that small studio in Richmond, British Columbia, Canada, to what has become global international stages. Winning that golden buzzer on Canada's Got Talent was a supreme accomplishment. And then appearing on NBC's World of Dance too. That was another great opportunity for you, huh?
Yeah. Both of those experiences definitely, I think one geared me for the other. My first appearance on TV was World of Dance season 2 with my team Fresh, and there was a lot of things that happened that I don't know if we'll get into all the details, but a lot of difficulties. When you're going on a show like that, there's so many things that can go wrong. And I think all of those difficulties that first time going on that TV show really geared me for what was to come on Canada's Got Talent, because that wasn't easy either. Going through.
Give us an idea, like what are some of the things, the pitfalls that can happen, when you're on these shows?
Yeah. Well, I'll go through a little bit of my Canada's Got Talent experience. As you know, the world went through a pandemic, right? And that wasn't easy for dancers. Our art form relies on the fact that we are physically with each other, creating formations and dancing with one another. So when the world has restrictions like that, we are unable to practice with each other. So rehearsing through Zoom, learning the choreography on my computer screen, and then realizing that I learned it the wrong way and having to reflip it in my brain. Like
because
those are
all flipped, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because all the screens are flipped. So my entire team learned the dance, and we're like, okay, we got it. We're going to go into physical practice now. And we realized that half of us learned it to the right, half of us learned it to the left. And then having to be like, okay, let's problem solve. Let's this team work with this team. We're going to flip you guys so that you guys can go on this side of the formation. And yeah, having to deal with so many different challenges like that was an experience that my experience on World of Dance had really geared me for. But yeah, nothing can really prepare you for having to deal with technology, as you may know. So
how'd you deal with working in television and radio professionally myself, I just know from a technical standpoint, all the puzzle pieces that have to be in place, putting monster shows on like that. It's extraordinary. The hundreds of people behind the scenes, the lighting directors, the staging people. And then, of course, in this case, you got all these contestants lined up and everybody has to have their number and you're next. And it can be chaos if it doesn't happen smoothly. And sometimes we see that happen on television where things don't go right and things go off the rails a little bit. I mean, sometimes that can make it exciting if you're the people working on it, but sometimes it can make it really frustrating too, especially if it's live. Then anything can happen.
Yes.
All bets are off, as you know, because you've done a lot of live work as well.
Yeah.
So those are terrific accomplishments. A lot of people don't even make it to those levels in competition shows like that. So as you did that, and congratulations on all the success as a result and being noticed too, did that spur you on, give you the energy and that oomph you wanted to really pursue this even further, Travis? Yeah,
definitely. I think being on shows like that and having that exposure, you really want to capitalize on that momentum. And at the time when I was doing Canada's Got Talent, I was also a full-time student at UCLA. So not only was I rehearsing on Zoom and going through school, but I was having to take tests on the plane and also work full time and doing things like touring as a convention teacher and as an adjudicator with certain competitions. So yeah, I think all of those experiences and all of the managing and micromanaging my intense schedule has really prepared me and given me energy to take on this career now that I'm graduated from UCLA and pursuing dance full time,
Tell us about this incredible shot we've got on the screen here at the Dance World Cup. Look at this.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite moments. That's me boost flipping. We call this a boost flip, where someone gets on your hands and you flip them and throw them in the air, and they do a backflip. That's me flipping my best friend Ben, and then one of my little buddies, Eldon, right there in the front. There's actually a crazy story when it comes to Dance World Cup. As you heard earlier, when I was 6.5 years old, the first competition I ever entered to compete was Dance World Cup. And that's where I got my gold medal, and I got scammed out of my iPhone. But 16 years later, I've now been invited to adjudicate for that competition and travel and be a part of that whole staff and team. And it's really like a full circle moment for me, from having competed there at 6.5 years old to now being 21, 22 years old now, 22. I'm 22 now.
It's amazing. It goes by fast, huh? Look at this shot.
Yes. Wow.
Representing Canada.
I love these graphics, by the way. You are so on point with that. Are you doing that manually?
Yeah, I'm using my television background and doing the whole thing. Yeah, produce and host. Kind of cool, huh?
That's technology. You know how to do it.
That's it. That's a cool shot representing the country, huh?
Yeah. So Canada. That was one of my very first international competitions that I got to take home. So this was the IDO Dance Championships, and this took place in Austria, I believe, in 2015. And I got to represent my country, Canada, on the world stage. And I was lucky enough to bring back 2 gold medals as a soloist. And yeah, that was such an amazing moment that just gave me so much energy and vitality to continue competing and doing my thing, for sure.
Absolutely, which is amazing. And look here.
And those are more medals. I've got lots of photos of my medals. I had, when growing up, I had a trophy room that just started overflowing. And 2019, that was the Canadian HipHop Dance Championships that I competed with my team, and we brought home 3, I think more than 3 medals. I think
that's all that fit on that table.
Yeah, that's all that fit on the table. Yes,
that's incredible. With all of this, has the Olympics been part of the equation for you as well? I know they had dance in it in Paris,
yes,
but as crazy as it is, they're not going to do it Los Angeles.
Yeah. So breaking at the Olympics is a very special thing. Me myself as a hip hop practitioner, I am not a break dancer. We have lots of different disciplines under the street styles umbrella. But yeah, watching those breakers put hip hop culture on the map was an incredible thing. It's not happening in Los Angeles in 2028. I believe they didn't win that bid, which doesn't make sense because, this dance form is from America and I would love to see it being brought home. But just having the chance to see these people take the stage and represent the culture so vividly, so brightly, with all of the amazing training that they've put in, showcasing that, this dance form is a blend of athleticism and artistry. And I've always said that, it takes a lot to be a professional dancer, because it's not just the practice of staying in shape and being at tip-top performance all the time, but it's also the blend of the subjective art form, the subjective truths of what it means to improve and get better and work on your artistry. And I think it's a beautiful thing that they're able to represent on that stage.
It really is. And I think in Paris, and those Olympics in Paris were extraordinary. One of the great stories was Steven Nadarazic on the pommel horse too, the Clark Kent, when he takes the American, takes the glasses off, and all of a sudden, boom. And his eyesight not being the best at the same time. What's really, now he's talk about competition shows. He's competing right now on Dancing with the Stars.
I saw that, yes.
Here in America. His Q score has risen, all the social media he became that Clark Kent, but he was interviewed.
In my generation, we have something we call aura. Do you know that word?
Yo, sure. Absolutely. He's what he's got. Yes.
Definitely got aura. Yeah.
That was the aura that he gave off. Absolutely. And very inspiring for others too. And at the same time, they were saying, well, how do you, really see the pommel horse when you're doing it? Because he, like you, has been doing this since he was a kid, right out of the gate, very energetic. So his parents in Worcester, Massachusetts, put him into gymnastics early so he can channel that energy, and just really worked hard, made it to the Olympics, got the bronze for the Americans gymnastic team, which they hadn't had in a number of years, which was really terrific. It was a great Olympic moment, TV moment. But he said that it wasn't necessarily the eyesight he was using when he was doing it. It's all by memorization. He's an electrical engineer, so his brain thinks that way. And it's all by touch. He remembers where the hands should go and the legs should go. And it's all by repetition and touch when he was doing it, which is unbelievably outstanding. And I'm sure you can relate to all of that, right? That extra you pull all your senses that you've got and use.
And it's so funny that you mentioned that. I get emotional when I watch the Olympics. Actually, that's something I'm deeply integrated with sports. I've loved sports all my life, and there's just something special about watching world-class athletes who have dedicated their life to a sport, to a form, representing their country on stage. And that's something that I relate to deeply in my own story, in my journey. So when I watch sports like that, I can't help to get emotional. I think I cried a little when LeBron was holding the flag for America. I've been a LeBron fan all my life, but Yeah, I
Or when
definitely,
Tom Cruise came flying down into the
yeah,
into the stadium in Paris. I mean, it's the.
yeah.
Do you plan to attend any of the events at LA just to see them and witness them? Is that
Oh
something
yeah,
that?
in
Yeah.
2028, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to watching the Olympics in person this time. Yeah, it's the only other Olympic experience I've had. Actually, this is like something that's so far back that's not even on my resume. But in 2010, Vancouver hosted the Paralympics,
Yes.
the Olympics and the Winter Olympics and the Winter Paralympics, and I had the chance to be a part of the team and perform for the Paralympic opening ceremony, and that was just such an amazing experience that now that I look back to, it was so long ago, but I think I was 8 years old. And yeah, that was my first experience on such a large global stage. I had a little earpiece so I could hear my music, and I had a little like a Canadian tracksuit. Man, the Olympics is a truly special time that all people who have spent their lives dedicating themselves to a craft can really just relate to and enjoy.
So how do you like he did with the horse? How do you get that clarity and that focus when you have the job at hand, the task at hand, and there's all this other noise out there, and you could be thinking about, oh, I've got to pay that bill, or we got to go shopping, or whatever's going. I got a flat tire. How do you focus, push all that out, and get so into your zone? What's some of the ways you prepare, you train, you rehearse, so when you got to do it, you nail it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, you talked about Steve and accessing that sixth sense almost where you are tapped into what feels like more senses than just your five, right? As a dancer, we're always constantly practicing. And I think this is one of the few art forms where, you can spend an entire like a quarter or a whole year preparing one routine and you get 2-3 minutes on stage at the competitive level. And it's something that like tapping into getting locked in for that, there's so much pressure because you're practicing for an entire year. And through memorization, through muscle memory, through all those different kinds of cues, you kind of just get locked into the moment where it's just you, the music, and the stage. Yeah, and it's like locking into the flow state. I think always for me, the music is what inspires me to get into that zone.
The music does, right? And then I imagine, there's probably a certain routine as far as your diet, certain things you won't touch either weeks leading up to a big event or just at all. Are you very strict with yourself as far as lots of water, sleep, diet?
I'm going to cover the brand, but I always got water on me. I'm media trained. I'm going to cover the brand, but yes, I always have like a giant liter of water that I carry.
Unless you want them to contact you.
Maybe I should do a 360 pan, right? Sponsor me. Yeah, I think a water sponsorship would be really great for a dancer because we drink so much of it and we sweat so much because of our long practices. But yeah, I definitely do have a routine, and I definitely have been taking my diet more seriously. I think it's funny you say that because I don't eat great all the time. We're normal human beings, and sometimes we can get away with eating certain foods because I dance so much in my day. Sometimes I'm moving for 6 to 8 hours, and I burn a lot of calories, and it's not easy having to fill and eat 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day. But I've been doing a better job of really eating a lot of fruit, hydrating, and most of all, those electrolyte drinks, coconut water after a dance, that is like key. Those are my secrets. Electrolyte mixes and coconut water after I dance so I don't cramp.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Look at this shot.
Wow. You are pulling up all the amazing old photos that I hate to look at myself.
Everybody does, but it shows that you started early and you really, you had a certain vibe and you knew what you were doing, and it's something that you've loved. Look at this shot. It's a cool one.
Yeah, that's me and my team, fresh. That's on the set of World of Dance. Yeah, World of Dance season 2. That was in like 2018.
Now, are you still with them, or has everybody gone in their own direction?
Yeah, these are my childhood friends. The guy pictured there on the bottom left, his name is Lucky, and I've been dancing with him since I was 6.5 years old. With most of this team, I've been dancing all my life. I've been fortunate enough to grow up in one dance studio, and have lifelong friends that I still talk to and connect to and watch dance competitions live, like with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're definitely lifelong friends.
That is so cool. Look at that shot. You
Yeah.
had your own TV show too, didn't you, in Canada?
Yes, I did. So
On
this is
Shaw
me
TV.
yeah, this was me on set. I did a show when I think I was all the dates are blurring, but I think I was
Right, exactly.
over the time.
Way back when.
Way back when. But yes, I had an opportunity to host Hip Hop with Travis Lim, which was a show that ShawTV, a channel in Canada, approached me. And they said, we want to do a local show that has bright energy, that, you know, highlights some of our Vancouver talent. And we wanted to see if you would be down to host a hip hop show. And I said, yeah, this is amazing. Of course, I would love to do that. At the time, you know, I was only 13 years old and I was really young. So I felt like, I don't know if I can go from the position of I'm an expert on this topic. So the direction that we went with that show was more so that I was a student and I wanted to learn more about hip hop. And I think that perspective and that way of doing that show really informed so much of my dance experience now. I had a chance to bring on so many amazing guests from Vancouver's hip hop scene. Some like graffiti artist Dedos, DJ Flip Out, who I'd been listening to on the radio since I was like 3 years old. He's been DJing in our local, you know, Vancouver radio shows for so long. And having him on the show was such an amazing experience. Another person that I brought on was a b-boy by the name of Why Not, Rocksteady Crew, one of the founding members. And he talked about his experiences teaching at University of Arizona. And that was the first time I was like, oh, there's hip hop being offered at universities. That's incredible. And that opened my eye to the possibilities of what hip hop could be and where I could take my dance. And eventually I landed at UCLA. So there's just so many inspiring moments from being able to interact with legends like that through that show.
Absolutely. And then, of course, covers of magazines and a lot of media coverage as people realizing, you know, your incredible talent, which I think is something really, really cool. Look at this shot. This goes back.
Wow. You know, that's my very first Instagram post.
Is it?
That's that's the first thing I've ever posted on Instagram.
And tell us what's happening. It's cool.
Yeah, this is me in Paris. I got a scholarship to do a dance intensive in Paris. This was also a long time ago, but I got the chance to travel to Paris. Actually, the first time I went, my visa got denied, so we had to fly back home. But this is the second year that I got to go again. And I got to learn from some incredible artists doing ballet, which was totally out of my element, but also some hip hop too. But yeah, that was such a fun experience. I'm so fortunate that dance has had the chance to take me around the world, and I've had the chance to educate myself through travel, which I think is something that everyone, if you get the chance to do, definitely do that, because it's an education within itself.
Some really cool shots that we're showing here too along the way, and then this is a great shot also.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Me looking spiffy.
Talk about aura.
Talk about aura. Yeah, that's a plus aura points there.
It's really and they're all the people that are looking the other way are like, do you know who's standing behind us?
No, that's actually
I know.
That's actually at my high school.
That's a cool shot.
Prom. So
that is really wow. Proms have come a long way, everybody. Look at that. Cool. That's really something. That's a great shot too, as well. Yeah. This one, I like the fact that that you teach and you pay it forward and you educate. This is a great shot, and this is teaching your hip hop foundation to kids in school, right? Tell us about this.
Yeah. Well, over this past year, I feel like I've dove further into teaching than I ever have before, and I think I've been working with a company called Universal, and through this company, we've had the chance to really transform Los Angeles through the power of hip hop and through the power of dance. We have this thing that we always share with our audience about hip hop being about peace, love, unity, and hope. And we try to spread that message across Los Angeles through the power of hip hop dance. We have two things that we do, both teaching and performing. So we have something called the Hope Show, where we travel across and perform at schools and different venues across Los Angeles. And the impact of what we get to experience and see in that show is truly incredible. One of the things I'll never forget was my very first performance when I got brought onto this company. right? We got the chance to perform at one of this elementary school, and this little girl came up to us and just said to us, you know, it was so amazing watching people who look like me on that stage. And I was just like, wow, this is something that we're actually getting to impact the lives of the people that we're dancing for. So I've kept that energy with me this entire time, and I've gotten the chance to teach at over 25 schools this year, reach over 2,000 students through the transformative power of hip hop. Yeah, just like the way that it's been able to transform my life and take me to these different heights and teach me more about life than anything else in my life has, other than my parents. I've gotten the chance to pay that back and educate through this beautiful art form.
So how much of your time is actually dancing, you know, yourself and teaching others? Is it a real balancing act for you to maintain and manage travel?
Yeah, I'm a full-time teaching artist and I'm a full-time performing artist as well. So I'm teaching, I try to teach at least 5 days a week. Just, you know, really connecting with my community and connecting with dancers across Los Angeles. But then I also find that performing is something, you know, I've always loved to do, and I'll never stop performing. I've had the chance to do a lot of projects in between teaching. So sometimes, you know, you have to find last minute substitutes for my classes. But yeah, I've had the chance to do a lot of music videos recently, a lot of performances. And also on top of that, in my early mornings, go to schools, and then the day, and like literally at the end of the day, film a music video. It's such an interesting life that I live, going to school in the morning and then doing music video shoots and performing on stages at night. It really is a Batman-like life.
It is truly, really is. And you're signed with the MSA Talent Agency, and you work with top artists, and you're contributing to the hip hop community in both Los Angeles and Vancouver.
Yeah.
And you've been touring again as adjudicator for 5, 6, 7, and 8 Showtime and Dance World Cup, teaching conventions with iDance across North America, and of course, proud UCLA graduate. And you're taking really all these experiences to pursue your passion and really to continue to elevate the dance community. Do you feel the dance community is underrepresented, or just the light, not enough light goes on that community?
Yeah, I think with dance, it's really tough because when you look at other kinds of art forms, you know, you have music, you have things that you can sell and tangible things that you can sell and distribute and things like that. But with dance, it's really hard to distribute. And I think that's one of the things that like is really up to the individual artist to try to promote and see value out of our art form, is because we can't sell individual products. We can't have a record to sell or make merch to sell. I think with this dance form, it's really about just continuing to be involved in the community. And I think that's how we continue to elevate each other, is by seeing the value in our dance, in our art, and paying that forward and always connecting with each other in that way. So I think dance is very undervalued, but obviously I'm also biased because I'm a dancer, and I see so much tremendous value and hard work that it goes into putting on a production. So yeah, you tell me, what do you think about dance?
You know, I think it's so very, very true too, because a lot of times, you know, you see it maybe as backing singers or just for other purposes, and then you don't really focus necessarily on it as a solo thing. They're usually in addition to something else that's going on sometimes, whether it's on a Broadway show or a singer on stage and the dancers are all behind doing all kinds of incredible feats of strength and talent, but it's focused on, you know, mainly the singer. I think when you get a chance to, when we've had some dance companies from different parts of the world come through this show, and then I've been on PBS as a host for years. So there's been a lot of dance that PBS television has shown over the years. And, you know, there's Alvin Ailey and there's all these incredible legendary people that, you know, if you really go back and you look at some of the incredible material that they've offered and the people that they've inspired as well, it's quite extraordinary. But it really is, it's not only mentally demanding, it is physically demanding on an extraordinary level. How do you, so the light should be shining on it as well, because it's what it takes to do some of the things like the shot we showed earlier with, you know, the backflip, flipping off the friend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like,
Yeah, and I will be flipping too.
I
can do some flips myself, but usually
that's a whole new definition for flipping someone off.
Yeah, I can do some flips too, but you know what? And I haven't been fortunate enough to get boosted in my life. I've always been too tall and too big to get boosted. I'm 6'2", so as you can see, my little buddy in front of me was much smaller than me at the time, and I wish I could have been boosted. But yeah, this dance form is demanding. It's a demanding art form, and you talked about the different kinds of versatility that we can have. You know, we can be dancing behind and back up for a singer, and we can do those kinds of things. But there's so much to be captured with dance that there have been so many amazing companies like Alvin Ailey that you mentioned. And even more now, we're seeing a lot more dance and hip hop take the theaters and the theater stages, right? But yeah, it's been a lifelong mission of mine to bring dance to the forefront, not just in the background, but bring it to the forefront and captivate audience and see and explore and tap in more to see what we can do with our dance that makes it, you know, center stage, that we can put the spotlight on it and have someone enjoy an hour show without having to have a singer or someone in the spotlight, you know?
I would imagine too that you respect and honor and enjoy all elements of dance. You have, of course, your favorite and genre that you're in, but you respect some of the veterans and other people, entertainers who dance, people who've done tap and other things, you know, even all the way back to somebody like a Fred Astaire or Sammy Davis Jr., or Gene Kelly, or some of these other incredibly iconic dancers of yesteryear too. I imagine your appreciation really is vast for all of the dancers, male and female, regardless of generation or even genre.
Oh, definitely. You know, before going to UCLA, I have to say, like, there's so much within hip hop that I was so focused on, you know, just trying to get and capture all of the energy and all of the dance and knowledge that is to be captured in hip hop. But attending UCLA, you know, I was so fortunate to attend a global dance perspective and learning. And I got to experience all of those legends. Like you said, you know your stuff. And I had the chance to meet my girlfriend there, who's also a tap dancer, and she's on my case. She's always, you know, she's so about history and dance, and there's many things that she's also passed on to me. But like all of those dancers, like you said, I take inspiration from. I think as a dancer, it's so important to not be closed-minded. I think that's one of the biggest skills about being a dancer, is really finding inspiration from the randomest of things. As a dancer, like, I take inspiration not only from past dancers, past groups, but also from everyday life, from people, from the way that you may walk on the street, from the inanimate objects around my household. I'm always finding different ways that can spark my creativity. And I think that's one of the interesting things about dance, is that's what I was talking about, the blend of athleticism and artistry, is finding that balance and finding how I can tune my body to play with those ideas that I have and represent that.
Are you also creating dances of your own as well?
Yeah, all the time. So we call that choreographing, and choreographing basically means the dance writing, right? But yes, I'm constantly choreographing. I think it's great to put down concrete ideas. But also another factor of my practice is freestyle as well. So I do both choreography and freestyle. So freestyle I would describe that as more of how I express myself freely when music is played, but choreography is how I like notate that, and I put that into some concrete dance that I can share and that I can repost and teach others as well.
That's really cool. It's amazing. And is it something that you'd like to do for Broadway and shows and things of that nature? Is there a master plan with all of that, with the choreography?
Yeah, I think right now, like, I like to take it, obviously, like, there are dreams and visions that I have in the future, but I like to take it a day at a time. I really think that I'm always trying to put all of my energy into the thing that I'm currently doing. So whether it's a song that inspired me from this past week, I'm really focusing and putting my energy into creating what that is and bringing that vision to life. Obviously, in the long term, I would love to see hip hop And I would love to see dance in general just being put on stage. There's a lot of great theater work that I've been exposed to here in Los Angeles. Theater companies like Versatile Dance, an incredible hip hop company that does theater work out here. And even the company that I'm a part of, Universal, there's some incredible hip hop dance that we are now putting on the map. So if you guys are interested, definitely check that out. Yeah.
That is cool. Do you see yourself traveling the world more too, Travis?
That's the dream. I love traveling through dance, and I've been very fortunate to and have that experience. I'm flying actually in the next month. I'm getting the chance to travel to St. John's and Edmonton, some of my favorite places in Canada to dance with. And I'm going there as a part of iDance convention, and I'm going to be teaching some choreography. I'm going to be teaching some pieces there to the conventions and getting to interact with that community again.
I was in Edmonton last year, actually, for my television work. It was a television shoot, and it was very, very cool. I was interviewing this person as part of this television documentary project, and we went to her beautiful skyscraper in downtown Edmonton. But then we also got a chance to go to CKUA, which is sort of like Canada's national public radio. We went to the broadcast studios. And then we got to film inside the really beautiful art gallery of Alberta, which is this modern marble granite building with all this glass. It's really cool. And then we got to go into City Hall and meet the mayor and do filming there.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was, they had it all strategized that we were going to 4 different places because they wanted to show off the city too. And that was the furthest north I've been, in Canada, because I think it's the largest, most northern city in Canada. Next stop is North Pole, or but it was really cool.
We are far up north. We are cold up here in certain places.
And then everybody said, "What is it? Poutine?" Said you got to have the French fries.
You got to have poutine. Have you ever had it before?
We had it in Edmonton. They said you have to have. You are not leaving this city without that.
What do you think? Give me your honest opinion.
I thought it was good. Yeah, it was good. It was at a pub sort of place. It was after the shoot, and everybody went to, and there was a lot of like finger foods and different things like that. And they had beer and different things. It was like a brewery pub kind of thing. And I thought it was good. I mean, it's not something that if somebody wants to do what you do for a living, they should partake in too often.
Well, let me give you a secret. You can enjoy all the poutine that you want as a dancer. At least as a young dancer, I haven't had any problems yet, but perhaps in the future I might have some cholesterol problems because I do love a hearty poutine.
See, you have a good metabolism. You burn it off.
I have a very fast metabolism, and I dance a lot, so that's one of the perks actually of being a dancer. I think one of the perks of dancing as much as I do is so that I can eat. So that I can eat freely and eat my poutine. And even more so, it's enjoyed nicely with a cold glass of beer. I think it takes.
That's what we had at the brewery. Was that right? They said there's two things. They go hand in hand. Exactly, those two things. This is a cool shot. Look at this. This goes back. Yeah.
So that is actually. Have you ever heard of a battle before? Do you know what a battle is?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Tell the audience.
So this was at a battle back in 2013, and for the audience that doesn't know,
bands too, they would have battle of the bands, things of that nature too. Yep.
So like how any sporting event has like a tournament bracket, this battles are basically our dance version of that. And if you've never been to a battle, I definitely encourage you to search a hip hop battle in your local area, wherever you're located, especially if you're in New York. There's incredible battles, and that's where hip hop is from, right? So yeah, we basically come in and we all dance one at a time, and you have your chance, and 3 judges pick the best 16 or 32, depending on the size of the event. And we do it tournament style. So you go one-on-one, head-on-head, and you go until there's a final winner. And yeah, the energy is just, it's so contagious. If you ever have seen seen movies like Step Up or even like Stomp the Yard, you'll see like that a little bit of that battle culture and what it's like. People can get chirpy sometimes, and it can get a little it can get really active and live, and it's really fun to be a part of that energy. Obviously it's all in good fun with sportsmanship, but yeah, it's really fun to be a part of that vivacious energy and environment.
It really is cool. I tell you, living in LA too. I mean, you got a lot of creativity and art there.
Yeah. It's definitely a hot spot to be. And, you know, you're also located in New York, and that's where hip hop started. That's the root of everything that we do. So if you have any viewers that are in the New York area, I definitely encourage them to, I mean, I'm sure living in New York, you see it everywhere, but yeah.
Do you ever get out to the East Coast?
Yeah, I love traveling to the East Coast. I haven't had the chance to travel to New York in a while. I had plans this summer, but they fell through, but I will definitely be traveling to New York next summer. My roommate just moved there, so I have a place to stay.
Really?
I'm going to come and experience more of that hip hop culture for sure.
Coming to the East Coast. That's it, right? Cool stuff. Yeah. Pizza, hot dogs.
That's a question I need to ask. What is like, if I'm traveling to New York, what is the one dish that I need to try? Because you guys have so many things. You have like your chopped cheese, you have different
this whole tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. There's so many different cultures, so much great food. If you go up to New England, then of course they're big with the seafood, the lobster, the clam chowder, all of that. They're known for a lot of that good hearty food. New York, of course, pizza, Italian. There's some really good Irish restaurants. Of course, Chinatown is very, very good. Little Italy is very, very good. There's a lot of choice. I mean, you may have to, depending on how long you're in the region, this tri-state region, you may have to have this day, this cuisine, this day, that cuisine.
You said
this day.
Well, Jim, that's how I like to travel. You know, I plan out my traveling with food. Literally.
You do it around food.
I'm a huge foodie. And like I said, I dance to eat. I burn off these calories so that I can eat more. But yeah, just yesterday I was watching an entire hour-long tour of New York's Chinatown and the different kinds of foods that you can get there.
Yes,
that got me amped up to travel to New York. I definitely
go.
Have a day in each area.
He's going to fast a week before he leaves to go to the Big Apple to New York.
I'm going to be sweating. I'm going to be dancing on the subway. I'm going to be doing pull-ups on your subway for sure.
There was a guy years ago who had a TV series that was on in America, but I believe he was originally from England, and Graham was his first name, and it was a great name for the show because it was called The Galloping Gourmet. And I believe he would gallop around the studio and do some dance and then cook.
Really?
And he liked his wine too. He always had the wine at the end. But yeah, it was a cool name for the show, The Galloping Gourmet. And it was a regular cooking show series that used to air on, I think, CBS or one of the networks way back. There's probably clips on, the internet and all, but
it's awesome.
So you're all over social media too, right? TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. What are some of the handles if people want to follow along?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at Travis_Lim_ENT on Instagram, and the same thing on Facebook, Travis Lim ENT, just without the underscores. But yeah, I post my dance journey there. I post choreography videos, freestyle videos, me teaching as well, community events and things that I'm a part of. So if you're ever interested in the Los Angeles area or in Vancouver and you want to tap in, even DMing me if you want to have some dance lessons or just dance with me and have fun, like definitely tap in. I'm very open to dancing with people. So
that's so cool. That's really great. So when you have buddies that don't know how to dance and they're maybe going out on a date or they're going to a wedding or whatever, they get some free pointers and brush up with you.
Oh, definitely. I think there's nothing like being in the space with a dancer. And when I'm in the space with my friends who don't have any dance experience, it's always a good time. It's always a good time because I think there's something that is universal about movement and about dance. We like to say that, dance is a universal language. You can travel anywhere in the world and people will be able to understand you through movement. It's something that everyone does and everyone is able to do. So yeah, I think it's a great way to connect with people, no matter the experience level, no matter whether or not you have two left feet or no rhythm. There's ways that we can get around it and enjoy ourselves.
With all of this said and having the support of family, I imagine they are very proud of you, Travis, huh?
Yeah, I'm so fortunate to have supportive parents. My mom and dad have been a part of my journey since the very beginning and just been super supportive of everything that I do. My mom for many years was my momager, as we like to say. And she was a dance mom through and through. She would film every single one of my practices. She would be in the room with her giant camcorder and filming every single practice. No lie, from like 2007 all the way to like 2019. She's got footage of hours and hours of my dance journey. So I'm very lucky to have my mom be a part of my journey.
I can relate, because the very first times I was on television, they would put, they would have it recorded at home. They have stacks and stacks of all the footage of me on television, straight out of college, or on the radio, straight out of college. And we actually have a storage bin that has all of that, like vintage stuff. And it's really cool. And they would be there, and they would, if they were in the store, they would tell the store to put all the TVs. If there was a store that had all these televisions, like an appliance store, put them all on that station. And there's our son. And cool. When you have that support and love, there's nothing better, because it just pushes you forward. And you're doing it with others, teaching them and showing them the way too, which I think is a beautiful thing. And I think Mr. Jackson would be proud, my friend.
Oh,
he would be proud.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. He'd probably have you.
After Michael Jackson passed away, I had like 3 years that I did a tribute solo to him.
That's so great.
And I hope he is watching it from above and just enjoying all of what he has contributed to this art form. And
it's a lasting legacy, the Jackson family, and you're creating one yourself. Travis, this was awesome. Thanks for joining us on the show, my friend, and come back and see us. This will be archived on our YouTube channel, Gym Masters TV, so you can share the YouTube link on your social media in case everybody missed it live. And we're going to keep the porch light on for you. Congratulations on everything, all of the accolades, the awards: international hip hop dance champion, educator, professional dancer, and a guy with a great aura. Travis Lim.
You got a great aura, Jim. You got a great aura.
I appreciate that very much. And the door is always open for you. Keep us posted on all the cool things that are happening. Spread the word about our show, and come see us again, my friend, okay?
Thank you so much, Jim.
Pleasure is mine. I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you, Travis.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you.
All right. It was a pleasure. Now he's going to swivel around in the chair and just dance off.
Oh, yeah?
There he is. Look, perfect. Was that not a great ending or what? And we just choreographed that together on the spot. Teamwork. Cool stuff. Travis Lim joining us here on the Gym Masters Show live series. How cool. Again, really a super talent. He really is an international hip hop champion extraordinaire. He's been on all the big shows, and he continues, and just graduated from UCLA. How cool is that? A great story, very inspiring, and it won't be the last of him on our show, and I'm sure you'll be following him now as well. Please do. He was a great, great, great guest. Thank you for joining us, everybody, as well. You can see this archived on our YouTube channel, Gym Masters TV. Don't forget to like this episode. Click like, thumbs up like on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Gym Masters TV. We would love that. Leave a comment in the comments section and share this episode as well with all of your friends on your social media. And come see us again. And there he is, Mr. UCLA, taking the world by storm. We thank Travis. We thank all of you. Don't forget to love one another. Take care of one another. And don't forget to love yourself. I'm your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time. This time, till next time. Loved having Travis here. Loved having you here as well. We thank Travis for joining us here on the Gym Masters Show live series. Be well, everybody. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.